It's clear that Apple's culture is very homogeneous, and they attract a lot
Homogeneous in what way?
the talent is very much alike.
Okay.
In fact, I did work for Apple for about 6 years, and I could tell it's sad, but just by looking at someone, whether they were going to be a good fit for the company or not during the interview.
Based on the 43 minutes I've spoken so far, how am I doing?
Very, very well, very accurate, and I can say, I'm not under any NDA, that a friend of mine who's a senior engineer, he works on, or did work on fake products, I'm sure, for the first part of his career, and interviewed for 9 months. It was intense.
Yeah, because I talk about the people being hired into dummy positions where they're just not sure what it is they're doing, and this is because even though you've been through this rigorous interview process, they still don't know if you can be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. Anyway, I was trusted. My question...
Congratulations.
My question to you is, what is the recipe for interviewing that you may or may not have observed? Hopefully you can comment on what creates the perfect Kool-Aid drinker as a hiree at Apple. Well,
you know far more about the interviewing process than I do. I haven't interviewed for a job at Apple, and I've spoken to people, and the only depth that I got to on that was that it was that it was rigorous, and so I'll give you one observation. You know, we live in a culture that celebrates ego, right? And we live in a culture that celebrates people. We sort of admire people who, you know, who give it their all, but also promote themselves. And this is seen as generally good for the enterprise when people are advancing. You're advancing your career. You're advancing the company's interest. It's all real happy as long as you're around. Not at Apple. You have to be, someone clearly has to be willing to, and I think I use this expression, to check their ego at the door. For 14 years, there was only one ego that really mattered at Apple, and that was Steve Jobs's. And this is true I assume in the middle of the organization. It's very true at the highest ends of the organization. And this is, you know, for senior Apple executives, truly bizarre. I mean, anywhere else, they would be famous people with, you know, they might have their own PR person. They would have, you know, their own budget to do this sort of thing, and they don't.
Yeah, there's good examples of this, like Ron Johnson leaving to become CEO.
Ron Johnson got more leash than most because he was outside the computer industry. He had a reputation when he came. That
just for background, Ron Johnson was the
head of Apple Retail, who had been a senior Target executive before joining Apple. Now he's at JCPenney.
Even Tim Cook has so much charisma that he could certainly be our next president. I could say that very, very confidently.
Tim Cook?
Yeah.
Next president. You agree with that?
You mean of the United States?
Yes.
Well, the only thing I would disagree is that I don't think he has the political chops to put up with the BS that politicians have to put up with.
In fact, anyway, thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thanks.